Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. And so the Russians are the brokers in the Middle East, or at least they are one country or one leadership of a country who are really trusted by terrorists. Some Hamas senior leaders visited Moscow. They didn't visit Washington, D.C. Because probably Moscow pulls the strings of Hamas too. Well, can you believe that? So some Hamas leaders, senior leaders, visited Moscow and they had a little chat. So let me show you this article coming from the Telegraph. It is from 4 hours ago, today on the 19th of January 2024. Here it is, the Telegraph. The Telegraph never lies. Israel-Hamas war. Moscow urges release of hostages as it welcomes Hamas. Russia has pushed Hamas for a speedy release of the approximately 130 remaining hostages it is holding as it welcomed a delegation from the terror group to Moscow. Moussa Abu Marzouk and Bassem Naim, two of the terror group's most senior officials, met Mikhail Bogdanov, Russia's deputy foreign minister, for talks. And I'm quoting, during the conversation, the focus was on the ongoing confrontation in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict zone, Palestinian-Israeli conflict zone, against the backdrop of which the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip has reached catastrophic proportions. And quote, the Russian Foreign Ministry said in a statement. It added that Mr. Bogdanov, a former ambassador to Israel, had pushed for the quote-unquote speedy release of the approximately 130 remaining hostages. Release warm or cold, or either way. Now that's a detail that should be discussed, if you know what I mean. They include 3 Russian civilians, Andrei Kozlov, 27, Alexander Lobanov, 32, and Alexander Trufanov, 28. Ties between Russia and Hamas have grown closer since the West rallied in support of Israel after October 7th. What do you mean West? Do you mean 2-3 countries? Is that a West? Yeah. I mean, if they probably would have asked the entire Europe to raise their hand for support, they all would have done it. So yeah, I guess they were accurate. So what do we get out of this? Russia will not be able to convince Hamas to do that, because that is one of the reasons why I think some leaders of Hamas are still alive. If those guys, those 130 unfortunate people, are released tomorrow, warm, that is alive, then I guarantee you those guys will be like, pum, 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 psh, psh, that's it. But I think they still have to kind of pay attention to who they blow up over there, because, then those guys are going to claim this and claim that. So I don't think Russia has any leverage against the Hamas leaders. It looks good for the Hamas, it looks good for the Russians, it looks bad for the other ones, but nevertheless, it's just talk. Nothing's going to happen. Israel will finish what it started, and that is the elimination, I choose a word, a nicer word, elimination of Hamas. And in the meantime, bring peace and prosperity in Gaza Strip. And hope that maybe the Palestinians will choose to go, I don't know, to Madagascar or something, if you know what I mean. All right, my friends, at least these guys, and I wonder how in the hell they flew over there. How did they get? Are these the guys from Qatar? Because I don't think you can fly like a little bzz, like a mosquito or a fly out of Gaza at this point without being lasered down by the mighty Israeli Defense Forces. Probably these are the guys from outside, and they just communicate with the guys inside, and nothing will come out. It just looks good for the Hamas, looks good for the Russians. and the other ones now can have ammunition like, see, the Russians, they are promoting this or they are supporting that. We don't negotiate with terrorists. So I think regardless how bad things are in any kind of, how to put it, conflict, regardless what kind of conflict, talking, even if it's ugly talk, it's better than not talking. But since you don't want to talk, that tells me the only version that you have is this. You either, how to put it, unconditionally surrender, 100%, and we do whatever we want to you. That means 100% capitulation. Or the other one, we're going to just to use force. And that's it. There's no in between. You might say, what is to talk about? Well, I don't know if you've been in a, I don't know, intimate relationship with someone. And sometimes you get to some arguments. I know it's not kind of the same thing, but still, I think an intimate relationship is more important than the United States and Gaza or the Hamas. I think, a little bit kind of closer in intimate relationship. And when you have an argument on something, which I'm pretty sure I don't wish to anybody, but I'm guessing that we all go through that. Sometimes you get to a point where you just can't even talk with the other person for a little while or a longer while. By not talking, things don't go forward. You either break or you start communicating again and try to, as ugly as it would be, you sit down and try to talk it out. If you don't want, then it's clear. It's out of, I go this way, you go that way. The same with these guys. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Then it's clear. What do you expect? You expect the other guys to come to you and beg you? Well, not like that. All right, my friends, here it is. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.